Life does not ask for your permission before it overwhelms you. One morning you wake and the news is death. Another day, the betrayal of a friend. Another, a doctor's words that cut through the illusion of safety like a blade. Chaos is not an intruder that knocks politely. It is a flood that bursts through the door. And what are we to do when the flood comes? Drift and drown? Or build walls strong enough to resist the tide? Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life is not a collection of tips. It is an architecture for survival. It is not written for the comfortable, but for those staring into the abyss, those who know that life is suffering, but who refuse to bow before despair. The rules are not chains. They are handrails on a steep mountain path. They are the beams that keep the roof from collapsing when the storm rages. They are reminders that chaos can be confronted, not eliminated, that order is not perfection, but the fragile triumph of meaning over nothingness. So let us walk through these 12 rules, not as instructions carved in stone, but as living meditations. Picture the lobster, claws raised, posture proud, radiating dominance. Even this ancient creature knows posture is destiny. When it stands tall, serotonin floods its system. When it slumps, defeat seeps into its being. Humans are no different. Your posture tells the world what you believe about yourself. Shoulders slumped, eyes downcast, the message is clear. I am prey, and the world, ruthless as it is, responds accordingly. But straighten your spine, lift your gaze, push back your shoulders. And something shifts. You tell the world, I am here to bear my burden. And more importantly, you tell yourself, standing tall is not arrogance, it is responsibility made visible. Life is heavy. The shoulders were built for weight. Posture is not about how others see you. It is about how you remind yourself that you are capable of carrying suffering without crumbling beneath it. Consider this. People are better at giving their dog medication than taking their own. Why? Because they believe their pet deserves care, but secretly suspect they do not. Many walk through life treating themselves as disposable. They sabotage their health, neglect their talents, drown themselves in vice. They would rush to help a friend in need, yet abandon themselves daily. But you are not disposable. You are a miracle. Fragile, yes, but infinitely valuable. You are entrusted with the stewardship of a single life, your own. To treat yourself with contempt is to spit on that responsibility. Imagine you are guardian to a child who is not yet strong enough to fend for themselves. That child is you. You must feed them, guide them, care for them, because their survival matters. And as you grow strong, you will become capable of lifting others. Self-care is not selfish. It is duty. We become what we surround ourselves with. How many friendships are forged in weakness? People unite in their vices, partners in binge drinking, allies in complaint, companions in failure. They encourage one another's decay because it makes their own easier to bear. But these are not friends. They are saboteurs. A true friend celebrates your victories without envy. They challenge your complacency, call you out when you falter, lift you when you fall, they want you to rise, and you, in turn, want the same for them. Such friendships are rare, but worth everything. Better a single ally in truth than a dozen companions in decay. To attract them, you must first become one. If you live as someone who seeks the good, those who share that pursuit will find you. Social media thrives on comparison. Scroll long enough and you will find people richer, stronger, more beautiful, more admired. If you measure yourself against them, despair is inevitable, but you are not them. You do not share their story, their pain, their path. Their success tells you nothing about your progress. The only meaningful comparison is with the self you were yesterday. Are you kinder today? Braver? More disciplined? Did you act with more integrity, more courage, more patience? That is progress. Even 1% improvement compounds into transformation. The oak tree does not compare itself to the pine. It grows according to its own nature. So too must you. Envy poisons. Growth liberates. Children are chaos embodied. Their impulses are raw, their knowledge incomplete, their energy explosive. Left unchecked, they will become unbearable to you, to themselves, to society. Discipline is not cruelty, it is love. To fail to discipline is to condemn the child to rejection by a world that will not tolerate their unchecked behavior. A child who whines without correction becomes an adult no one respects. A child who strikes in anger without consequence becomes a danger. Love without boundaries is indulgence. Indulgence breeds weakness. To discipline is to prepare them for reality. To say no is to say, I love you too much to let you become someone no one can bear. It is tempting to rage against injustice, to rail against corrupt governments, broken systems, failed leaders. But what of your own house? What of your debts unpaid, your relationships neglected, your habits disordered? Hypocrisy festers when you demand order from the world while chaos reigns in your home. Begin with yourself, clean your room, reconcile with your family, break your addictions, discipline your time. Then, and only then, can you critique the world with credibility. Change is not born of slogans shouted in the street, but of individuals who have wrestled their own chaos into order. Put your house in order and you become a living example that transformation is possible. The expedient is easy. Cheat, lie, manipulate, seek pleasure now, delay consequences until later. Expedience is the whisper of the serpent. Take this shortcut, avoid the burden, but expedience corrodes. It builds nothing that lasts. Meaning, by contrast, demands sacrifice. It requires choosing the hard path, telling the truth when a lie would be easier, staying faithful when betrayal tempts, carrying the load when you'd rather drop it. But meaning redeems suffering. If you carry a burden for the sake of love, of truth, of something greater than yourself, then even pain becomes bearable. Ask not what is easiest. Ask what will make this suffering worth it. That is meaning. Every lie is a fracture in the soul. Speak falsehoods long enough and you forget what is real. You begin to live in a web of distortions. enslaved by your own deception. Truth is costly. It risks conflict, exposure, rejection, but it also liberates. A person aligned with truth can walk without shame. You may not know the full truth. None of us do, but you can refuse to lie. You can refuse to speak against what you know in your heart. A society built on lies rots from the inside. A life built on lies collapses. But a life built on truth stands firm, even when storms strike. Every conversation is an opportunity for humility. Every person carries knowledge you lack. If you listen only to respond, you learn nothing. If you listen to understand, you may discover wisdom hidden in unexpected places. To listen well is to silence the ego. It is to admit, I do not know everything. Such humility is not weakness, it is strength. It expands your world. Dialogue transforms when it ceases to be combat and becomes discovery. Chaos thrives in vagueness. To say I'm fine when you are drowning, to say something's wrong without naming it, these are evasions. Precision brings order. To say, I am afraid of being abandoned, is to make the fear visible and therefore conquerable. To say, we are drifting apart because we do not spend time together, is to make the problem solvable. Words are not decorations, they are tools of creation. Speak carelessly, and you build confusion. Speak precisely, and you carve clarity. Risk is not the enemy, fragility is. When boys skateboard, they test the edge of danger. They scrape their knees, break bones, push their limits, but in doing so, they cultivate courage. They learn resilience. To rob them of risk is to condemn them to weakness. Life is not safe. Better they taste risk young and grow strong than remain sheltered and collapse when chaos inevitably arrives. Freedom requires danger. Growth requires risk. Life is heavy with suffering. Sometimes the burden feels unbearable. But even in darkness, there are small mercies. The softness of a cat's fur, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the laughter of a child. These moments do not erase pain, but they give it context. They remind us that amidst chaos, beauty persists. When despair tempts you to give up, notice the small gifts. They are signs that life is not only suffering, but also grace. The 12 rules are not chains to bind you, but tools to strengthen you. They do not promise ease, they promise meaning. Stand tall, care for yourself, choose friends wisely, grow daily, discipline your children, order your house, seek meaning, not shortcuts. Tell the truth. Listen humbly. Speak precisely. Let children risk. Embrace small joys. Life will break you if you run. But if you shoulder your responsibility, if you carry the weight willingly, it will transform you. The antidote to chaos is not comfort. It is courage. Not expedience, meaning. Not lies. Truth. Not avoidance. Responsibility. Choose these and life will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Sending lots of love to you. Until next time, take care.